We absolutely love our K20 turbocharged Civic dubbed the Freak, and that's why we'll be transforming it from this to this. We have plans to take this car to the next level, and with this car now making over 500 wheel horsepower, we've got to get some more tire underneath it. We reached out to our friends over at Mosey Custom Design in Thailand, and they actually crafted us a one-off kit for the Freak. Now they make this kit for the general public, however they tweaked this one for us by adding vents in front of the rear wheels and behind the front wheels. Now there ain't nothing to it but to do it. Let's get started.
Let's do it, bro.
One of the really cool things about this body kit, we've actually made custom logos for every piece of this kit. So sick.
I'm gonna start making the first cut. First cut ever to the Freak. Well,
to the body of the Freak.
Right, after it was done.
Send it.
In order for us to get the right angle, see how it goes up and down? You notice here, it's going up and down because I'm moving this back and forth. And the reason why I'm moving this back and forth is because it needs to line up to this area right here. See the difference, how fitment gets better and it doesn't? So we're trying to find the perfect fitment here, and that's gonna allow me to put a bracket here to hold on the perfect angle that it needs to be for this thing to be accurately where it needs to be. Because if I do this first and then try to do the bottom part, I'm literally gonna rip the holes off the body kit. We've done this once or twice and we've learned to check every angle and see the movement, and there's a lot of movement on this. The rear overlay panel is on. I just gotta make one more bracket. We'll install the side skirts and we'll move on to the other side.
Quinny the Pooh, AKA Quinn and the Only. Quinn's actually gonna help me on this side. We're gonna heat up, start getting this all placed on the car so that we can kind of kill two birds with one stone, kind of speed up the process a little bit. While Ricky's finishing that, we're starting this. The car's looking really awesome. The body kit is now fitted in its first format with self-tapping screws, and now we're gonna pull the kit off, mark the fenders where we're gonna cut, and start cutting. First fender is cut, took a big section out. Basically, what we're doing there is just allowing for tire clearance if the suspension compressor doesn't hit the old inner fender. And now visually, you'll see just the outer fender. We had to get way back in here towards the door because this fender actually has these vents. We want to make sure that when you look through those vents, you don't see fender behind it. We want this to actually be functional. Not only visually, it'll also work, and you're not going to see it behind the fender, which is pretty cool.
It's looking like a set of wheels there, buddy. Custom paint, Mick. Hot off the press.
All right, let's see what we got here, Ev.
Whoa, doctor.
Them wide boys.
Oh, you guys know we love the new Motegi two-piece forge line. White on white, 15 can only mean one
Look at
thing.
these welds. Two-piece welded.
Yeah. We've actually never done like everything in one color.
Custom
that looks
spec.
sick. Look at the lip on that.
Whoa.
For a Civic?
Dang, that's sick.
This is a brand new design for Motegi as well that we chose for this car. Very cool. Hey everybody, I want to interrupt today's video to introduce our partner Car Vertical. We use Car Vertical around here all the time because we're oftentimes buying used cars to fix up out in our shop. Before we go buy those cars, we punch the VIN numbers into Car Vertical and check out the background history of the car. You're gonna get mileage reporting, you're gonna get any accident history, you're gonna get all kinds of data through Car Vertical's website. As you can see here, I've punched up this 2018 Ferrari 812 Superfast. What we have here is all of the mileage history the financial and legal status of the car, and any damage history that's been reported on it. And in this case, this car actually has photos listed on the page where you can see what damage is actually done before you actually get serious about buying this car. We may look at this and think, oh, that's a simple fix, and this is a great project for our channel. Or we could look at it and say, oh, it's too far gone. Car Vertical is here to help. They're gonna give you all the detail and the background of this vehicle in particular, and any other vehicle that you may be interested in. So if you're in the market to buy a new used car, definitely give Car Vertical a shot. You can click the link in the description down below, and you can use code throtl for 10% off when you sign up for the site. Now let's get back into today's video. Oh man, I love wide 15s. 13, 14, 15, and a nice wide width. It always looks so cool. Both of the fronts are done. That was really simple, literally just trimming out the materials not needed anymore and figuring out a solution to mount the front bumper to the fender, which we've already done. Time to move on to the back, which is where the real work begins.
Minus the fender welding, the driver's side is completely finished. We got 2 tires mounted up, the body kit is on. While Ricky's working on the passenger side, I'm gonna get our other 2 wheels and tires mounted up to get this thing back on the ground. We have all of our wheels and tires mounted up. It's time to throw them on the balancer and get these things balanced and then get them on the car. Final piece is our Motegi center cap. We're gonna pop these on, then move on to working on the car.
I just got done cutting the rear quarter panel and Mickey cut the other one. Next thing that I really need this thing on the lift so we can jack it up. And then in the air, I'll be able to measure, cut metal, and then weld our new wheel wells that I'm gonna be doing.
Probably the most important work is you're sealing the inside from the outside, making sure no rust can start on the car, and you also don't have any pinholes in the welds or anything like that that's going to allow water inside the car. So Ricky did a killer job. This is probably one of the nicest fender jobs I've seen done here in our shop. It really was not anything major to fill. He already sprayed the work with primer, so it's not going to rust, and then we're going to seal it now with basically a silicone.
Next up for the Civic, we're gonna be installing a Wilwood hydraulic handbrake. We need to get it mounted up by the shifter area. We're gonna send the car out to Wilwood. They're gonna make some lines for it and we'll be done. So let's see what we're working with. So here's our handbrake. We've got the Wilwood master cylinder set up on it. I would like it right about here. That's about good spacing from the shifter and the steering wheel when it's installed. What I want to do is try and make a mount under this, and so it'll kind of come up and stick out the side. It'd be nice to not cut the center console up to mount it, and I don't really think we need to. So we're going to take all of our center console stuff off and then start figuring out what the mount is going to look like, how it's going to mount to the car. Let's take it apart, get started. So this is the plate that the hydraulic handbrake is actually going to mount to. This is going to allow us to just have it a bolt on, bolt off. So that's going to be our plan for mounting the hydro. Now let's just execute. Let's go.
here with Anthony, Ricky's son, and we are going to be stripping off the livery for the Freak. So we're gonna be kind of surprising the guys. When they get it on Monday, the Freak is gonna be bare, just back to black and carbon fiber, which is gonna be really exciting because it's almost time to apply the new wrap to this car, the new livery. Very excited, and it's just time for a little change up. So we're gonna surprise the guys, and we'll get started right now.
We're now at the Willwood warehouse facility. We brought the Freak with us because we got a little special project we're working on with the guys here at Willwood. And you will notice that it looks a little naked, and that's because we recently took all of the racing vinyl off of it because we've got something planned for it coming up very shortly after this trip to Willwood. This car making 550 wheel horsepower, it's important to be able to stop it. We're in the right place for that, thankfully. So we're gonna start getting on the back brakes here with the boys, and they're gonna do some upgrades for us there. When this thing leaves here today, it's gonna be stopping very strongly, and I'm excited about that. Right here on this table, we've got all the new rear brake parts that are gonna go on the Freak. I've got Mike Hamrick from Willwood here. He does the engineering and a lot of the fitments out here in the shop. Been here forever, right?
Yeah, like forever. Thanks for reminding me.
Like forever, ever. So show us what we've got and tell us what makes this better than what's on the car currently.
So this is a hybrid kit that actually our friend Brian over at Fast Brakes builds using a lot of our Willwood components along with parts that he sells and makes.
Cool. And we've used his stuff on a few of our other builds too.
Oh yeah,
it's been great.
And if it's Honda import based,
Honda.
he's the one. Being a Honda guy, like I love that Honda, literally you can take a brake kit from a Civic and it bolts onto an early NSX.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
Nuts.
And people trip out on that, but I'm like, that's the nice thing about, well, really, Toyota, Honda, Nissan, they all kind of do that, but Honda does it really well.
Yeah, parts bin.
The brakes you have on it, we were just talking, are basically the factory DX brakes off of that car. Now that you're rear wheel drive, way more horsepower.
Yeah.
We've got the right setup on the front, especially on the 15-inch wheel. But this is gonna give us a lot more torque. We're probably an inch larger rotor. Significant upgrade is going to be going from a floating caliper. So right now you've got a caliper on the back of the car that's pushing on the inside and it pulls on the outside.
Yeah.
You see how I'm moving?
Yeah, yeah.
That's all compliance, and we don't want that in a race
Right.
car. We want it to be as solid as possible.
Well, as the guys finish up the front corners, we're gonna go ahead and get the wheels and tires back on this thing. Make sure we have no interference, which we shouldn't, because we haven't changed anything in the front as far as diameter goes. In the back, we already checked for clearance, so we're good there. So as we wheel this thing off the lift, we'll get it out to the trailer, get it loaded back up, and then we're gonna head back to San Diego.
Let's go, baby. We're gonna get a color change on the Civic.
You guys want to take the wrap with you?
Rip,
Because it's over there.
rip the
It's the
OG
same.
livery.
The whole joke you guys had for me before is gonna become reality. So you're welcome. It's over there, bro.
I knew that. All right, we've arrived here at SD Design House, and we're gonna be dropping the Freak off for its new look. We're gonna get the car inside and let them get started.
here at SD Design House, we are going to pick the Civic up. I have not seen the Civic since we dropped it off, so I'm very excited to see what the car looks like. I have some idea, but I don't know exactly what details were left unwrapped and what was left wrapped, so it's going to be cool. It's going to be a really nice color change for this car. Woo-hoo-hoo. That's hot, dude. Yeah, I'm in.
Well, the Freak is finally complete. It's been 4 long years in the making, all inside our shop, which is pretty rewarding, and a lot of custom fab time and work's been done on this car. Between me starting it with Ricky, Quinn taking on some of the roles as he was brought on the team over the years, this car has lived on and is living up to the expectations that I've always had for it. As you can tell, we've recently wrapped it in white Inositech vinyl, which was kind of always the idea for the look of this car. We really wanted to make this like a street car, Type R style rear-wheel drive EK. And that brings me to the logo that we applied last night before we loaded it in the trailer, and that's the Freak logo. Now we've went back to the lineage of the Civic Type R. We've used the R from Honda. We repurposed it and we put it in the logo to kind of give it that feel of a Civic Type R. You guys know what the Freak stands for. It stands for front engine, rear drive, EK, and that makes this car very special. We got to spend the last 4 years building this car. Everyone has had their hands on this car for the most part in some way, shape, or form and helped to make it what it is today. Now that it's finally complete, we get to enjoy the fruits of all of our labor out here at the Barona racetrack in Ramona, California. We wide bodied the car using a Mosey wide body kit. We've added some Motegi 2-piece wheels to widen the stance and fill up those big arches. These are 60mm over arches. This thing is now massive. It looks so cool. And we've added 245 Falcon Azenas RT 660s on all 4 corners. This thing has a square setup. What's really cool about that is it's gonna help with grip at the drag strip, but let's be honest, we didn't build this car to drag race. We built this car to take to the circuit and have fun with, and maybe even some skid days, slide it around, do some drifting. Earlier in the video, we added a Will Wood handbrake, which is gonna help us do some sliding if we want. It works really good. I've been testing it this morning and I'm really happy with the outcome. I think now that we have a big brake kit that's proper for this car underneath these massive 2-piece Motegis and a bigger tire with our wide body kit, we've really got a potent weapon here. And that brings me to the next point, is that we are going to have the Freak out at the Grid Life event here in the coming weeks, and we're going to get to enjoy it at the circuit, what it was meant to be doing, which is going to be really fun. If you guys want to see us get this thing out to any other circuits around the United States, let us know in the comment section. If there are any YouTubers you want to see us collaborate with and maybe even let them drive it or race against, let us know that too. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We hope you love this Freak content. We'll see you in the next one.